Welcome to Wasp3D Designer. In this tutorial, we will learn how to use texture masking for transparency effects. A transparency map is typically a black and white or grayscale image. In this image, black represents areas that will be fully transparent, white means fully visible, and in between gray values indicates partial transparency. To begin, open the material editor and create either a uniform or a standard material. Assign this material to your object in the scene. Inside the material editor, you'll see a set of color slots like diffuse, specular, opacity, and ambient, and just below those, you'll find 4 texture input slots. Start by assigning your main image or texture into the first slot. Then, in the second slot just below, assign your transparency map. Next, change the type of the second texture slot from texture to opacity. If your transparency map doesn't include an alpha channel, you'll need to manually choose between R, G, or B channel, whichever one carries the contrast data. For this, right-click on the alpha or a button and choose the required channel. You can also drag a channel button to A. If your map already has an alpha channel, you can skip this step, and Wasp3D will use that channel by default. You also have the option to use the Luma channel, which analyzes brightness values directly. But keep in mind, this can increase rendering time for your template. What we're doing here is instructing Wasp3D to interpret the brightness levels in your texture as transparency information. We can reverse the transparency effect if needed. To do this, just double-click on the channel we've assigned opacity channel, whether it's A, R, G, or B, to enable the invert option. This will flip the areas that were originally transparent will now appear opaque, and opaque areas will become transparent. We can apply a material with opacity to a group object, allowing it to function as an opacity mask for the entire group. To do this, first group the desired objects together. Then, create a new material and load the transparency map into the texture slot. Change the texture type to opacity, and select the appropriate channel based on your map. Apply this material to the group, and you'll see the transparency effect applied across all objects within it. Keep in mind that applying a normal material to a group will not produce an opacity mask. Only the opacity layer in a material can control the group's overall transparency. To fine-tune the effect, adjust the standard parameters of the opacity mask texture. You can apply UVW transformations to modify the opacity texture on the group. Transparency map works seamlessly on both 2D and 3D objects. And that's it. You've now learned how to use texture masking to create effective transparency effects in Wasp3D Designer. Thanks for watching, and keep designing smarter with Wasp3D.